Welcome back to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm Darren McBreen, and you know, every day I get tons of email from people who send us links to the latest breaking headlines. They send us show tips. We get a lot of videos sent to us. Sometimes it's videos of police brutality, or it might be with how someone dealt with an unconstitutional checkpoint, for example. You name it, we've seen it all. And we have literally thousands of activists out there, 1,000 Paul Reveres, if you will, that are sending us information, videos to try to help us, to try to help you wake up the masses and break people out of the matrix. Now, this morning, a friend of mine in Los Angeles sent me an email of a video by Luke Rudkowski from We Are Change, and it's a video that I had never seen before, and this was during a protest in New York City where Luke was approached by an angry New York City police officer, and he demanded that Luke shut off his camera. It developed into an interesting confrontation, and we're going to take a look at it right now.
Stop using it. It's his property. Not taking mine. It's his property. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Did I touch you? I didn't touch you. You touched my finger, right?
I did not. Stop it.
Let's relax. Everything's gonna work out. You know, just relax.
I take it because he was using it.
If you want to write a ticket, write a ticket.
He doesn't have ID.
You can't confiscate my stuff.
Man, Mike, look at Fab calling him.
I did stop.
Just relax. Everything's fine.
Just put the camera away.
With all due respect, I have a First Amendment right as a New York City journalist to record every conversation. I don't need to show you ID just because I'm filming. I have my press pass in my bag and I can show you it. But even I don't have to show you it. And number one, it's not illegal to film. And if you're not doing anything wrong, you shouldn't mind me filming. If you're doing something wrong, and that's when you don't want me to film.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Officer Smith. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
All right. Thank you. Can I have my ID back?
I have it in my name.
He said he's a journalist. I want to see his journalist ID.
I'm looking for it right now.
Oathkeepers.org. It's a new organization.
Here, I have mine.
Inactive police and military.
Not that it matters,
To
but I have mine.
Yeah, it's not in my bag now.
But
I have my business. I have every right as a citizen of the United States of America.
Put the camera away.
I have every right to film.
I'm telling you right now.
Sir, I know my rights.
Well,
I
first
studied
of
the
all,
penal
lying
code
to a
law.
police officer, okay?
I'm not lying to a police officer.
No, then where's your press pass?
Because I have.
Where's your press pass?
I don't have it with me, but he has a press pass. It doesn't matter. I have a business card that says I'm a journalist here.
I don't know who
it
you
doesn't
are.
matter. Even if I'm not a journalist, I have every right to record
Actually,
you,
no,
sir.
you don't.
Yes, I do. The Constitution.
Actually, no, you do not.
It's not a
Okay?
police
First of all,
I
it's
stood
not
back.
in the
I didn't
Constitution.
impede. I didn't impede.
If you're going to quote the Constitution,
It's the First Amendment,
know it
New York State
first,
and New York City law, municipal law,
First
penal
of all,
code law, and I
state law is
studied
not
it.
covered by the Constitution.
Yes, but it has its own
So if you're
Constitution
going
that
to
I
quote the
read and I
Constitution,
studied. and
know
it
what you're
specifically
talking
says,
about
I have
first.
every right to film. and
Know
you
what
have
you're
no right
talking
to
about
stop.
first.
If you're doing
Okay?
nothing wrong, you shouldn't mind me filming. If
Okay?
you're not doing
Has
nothing
nothing
wrong,
to
you
do
shouldn't
with
mind me
knowing
filming.
anything,
You're a public
okay?
servant. I'm an American, you're an American. You're supposed to serve the people. And that's what it's all about. You should have no problem with me filming. No problem at all right now, officer. If you're not doing anything wrong, what's the wrong? You film us. Everybody films us.
Where's my camera?
You have it on your
Okay.
car. You have it on your car.
I have it in my car?
Exactly.
Check out my car. Okay?
Every police
How much
car
you want
has
to
a
bet?
camera.
No, they do not. Okay, once again, you know what you're talking about. Okay?
Police officers record other things. We have every right to record.
I gotta go.
We have every right to film. Your boss just told you to.
I just said I don't care.
We have every right to film, and whenever a police officer tries to intimidate you and scare you, remember, this is mightier than any sword you will ever find. Use it, get it, and know your rights. Stand up, people. Look up wearechange.org.
That's right. In modern times, the camera can indeed be mightier than the sword. And now we are joined by the man behind the camera and the founder of We Are Changed, Luke Rudkowski. Luke, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, you know, that cop was pretty clueless, and, you know, thank God you had your camera. You were able to capture the film, and that you managed to diffuse the situation. But this is alarming because I'm seeing a trend right now. I'm seeing a lot more police officers behave this way. I mean, is this guy's attitude, is this like the future of police in America? What do you think?
I mean, it's slowly heading that way, especially if we all don't stand up and assert our rights. I mean, rights are just like muscles. If we don't use them, they're going to become weak, they're going to become pathetic, and it's going to get ugly. But if we, the individuals listening right now, empower ourselves with the law, with the Constitution, with just knowing the basic regulations and stand up to authority, anything could change. I mean, even yesterday, I had a great experience when I was covering protests down in Mayday and in New York City, and I was covering everything that was happening. There was a lot of police officers, and I had this one cop run up to me, and I was like, oh, man, what's going to happen? And then out of nowhere, he reaches his hand out. He was like, Luke, I love your work, man. Keep it up. And he shook my hand, and I was like, man, I hope your bosses don't see that, because they do crack down on police officers who are sympathetic. So I did have great experiences with police officers. At the same time, I do have horrible experiences with police officers. And this video that we released is nothing compared to all the other footage we have that is still unreleased. I mean, we have incidences of police officers just smacking the camera, assaulting us, and us, simply standing up for our rights. There is nothing wrong with filming a police interaction. And if we all stand up for our rights, if we all understand the law, if we all have just common sense and take pride in just knowing that we can stand up, it won't become a police state, but the possibilities is there. It's slowly encroaching on us. Sadly, there are still officers who are clueless about the law, officers who just want to bully people. But I think the more we stand up, the more we speak up, the less of that is going to happen. Well,
it's good to hear that, police officers are coming up to you wanting to shake your hand. We get the same thing here in Austin. A lot of police officers are listeners to InfoWars. They watch the InfoWars nightly news. But at the same time, it seems like it's the younger guys to me. It seems, I don't know if they're being trained this way. I don't know what the deal is. But a lot of these guys are extremely aggressive. You've had your share of run-ins with police officers, guns pointed at you. You've been there and done that. And, there's another video. I want to share another video with you. This is a clip. This is a recent clash between InfoWars reporter Dan Bidandi and an aggressive police officer out in Boston. This was during the police state crackdown in Boston, following during, I should say, the manhunt for the suspected bombers. And they barricaded the entire neighborhood, and Dan Bidandi managed to capture this. Let's take a look.
Anyone cross the line to be taken into custody? Media, civilian, anyone, okay?
This is a police state, yeah. And you're telling us
I'm telling you to cross the police line to be taken into custody.
New World Order property, yeah. Thanks for serving the Constitution, sir. Yep, right there.
You with the media?
Yes,
media
I am.
credentials? Let me see them.
Yes, I am.
You see media credentials. Free speech systems?
The #1 alternative media in the world, so...
Okay, well, Dan, we work together or work separate. Don't matter to me. Stay behind the line.
Oh, could you please tell us what's going on now? I mean, like, did they blow up the bombs yet? Or...
Sir, your behavior right now seems to be a little irrational to me. This is a very fluid and dangerous situation.
I understand.
So if you don't stop talking, you're going to be removed. Press or no press. Sir, you seem to be a little irrational right now.
I'm not rational. It's live on camera. Am I irrational? Am I rational?
I'm glad I didn't shave this morning, okay? Listen, your behavior to me appears to be irrational, confrontational, and this is a very dangerous, fluid situation. If you're not understanding me, I'll take it a step further and help you understand.
One question though. Who's going to give us information?
And that, my friends, is the face of tyranny. And I got to hand it to you guys. Dan Bidandi, you, Luke, you guys are out there, and I'm afraid I would lose my temper and probably go to jail if I had some of these run-ins that you guys face. But you're able to, cool heads do prevail. You're able to diffuse the situation 9 times out of 10. And, I was on your YouTube channel, and I thought it was interesting. Sometimes if you go to jail, the cops will take your footage and they will erase and delete all the information or all the footage from your camera, illegally, I might add. And I know there was a guy in Miami who had his footage erased by the police, but he was able to recover the deleted footage. I thought that was very interesting. You want to tell us a little bit more about that?
I mean, similar situations have happened to me when I was arrested for trying to question Mayor Bloomberg. My DV tape was totally destroyed. I had to get it restored. But recently when I was down in Miami, I met up with Alex of Federal Jack and Hack Miami. And he had a very crazy, insane story. When he was just filming police officers, they grabbed him, tackled him, choked him, and then they deleted his footage because he wouldn't tell the cops who he was with. But Alex was actually a hacktivist. He's a hacker. And he was actually able to go get forensic software and recover the video footage. And once he recovered that video footage, all the media started talking about it. It went viral online. All the charges were dropped against him, and now he's a part of a lawsuit against the Miami Police Department. And then later it came out that that police officer who arrested him was arrested later for kidnapping and extorting a random person. The story is just insane. It's on our YouTube channel, but it shows you, even though negative things do happen, we could use technology and the internet to actually prevent these things from happening and actually clear the wrongs. We also just released another story from Antonio Buehler, who was, arrested and used Craigslist to find video of the cop lying and setting him up, and he was able to drop the felony charges that he was facing. So we do have these tools in front of us. We do have cell phone video cameras. We do have technology to restore videos. We do have other people who are going to start filming interactions with the police department. We have all these tools. They're in our grasp. We pretty much have the truth in our hands, and it's up to all of us as individuals to go out there and use it to its full potential. And we're happy to hear successful stories like Alex and Anthony and Antonio and everything that we went through. It was only due to the technological advances. It is a double-edged sword, but we have to, as a whole larger public, start using them. And once we do, things will get a lot better.
Well, and it seems like wherever the action is, you are always there. And, as soon as the massive manhunt took place in Boston, I just knew you were going to be there. And what was funny is I was watching a video of Dan Bidandi, once again, who was out there covering the scene, and he was being badgered and heckled by an angry Boston resident. I don't know if you saw that video. It went viral on YouTube. And as I'm watching it, there's Luke in the background. I could see you back there. And I was curious because we haven't had a chance to talk about your experience out there. Lawrence O'Donnell, the MSNBC host who you've interviewed several times, he recently, I think it was just a couple days ago, he ridiculed people like Ron Paul, saying that there was no police state in Boston. Ron Paul is crazy. You were there. You happened to, talk to people who were there. What kind of reaction did you get from the people who were locked down during that time?
Yeah, we were actually there in Watertown as state, federal, and local authorities were going door to door, pointing guns at individuals. And a lot of the residents that we talked to that just got their, homes searched, that just had just had all these paramilitary guys in their house, were visibly shaken, visibly afraid. Some of them, allowed it to happen. Some of them tried to resist it from happening, but they were still forcefully under duress, thrown away all their rights, and a lot of them were not happy. Some of them didn't mind it, but you could still see the effect it had on the community at large. Whether it was justified or not, it definitely did terrify that small community, everything that they had to go through, that they had to undergo. We initially got a report from the police department that it was voluntary searches, but then after talking to the residents, we found out that they weren't asking if they could have permission to enter homes. They were just forcefully entering people's homes to search for the suspect, of course. So it was definitely frightening being there. Myself, the security was very, very intense. There was police and officers everywhere. We, had to go through multiple checkpoints. We were searched ourselves. Other journalists on the scene were told to lay on the ground as they were searched. So it was a very, very touchy, very intense situation to be in. But luckily, we were able to go there and get the point of view of the residents that the mainstream media wasn't talking about. We talked to some of the friends of the suspects, and it just leaves me with a lot of questions. And it leaves a lot of people there, also the residents, who, aren't really just even theorizing about anything, but they just have questions about what's happening. And sadly, they weren't getting the answers that they truly needed.
Are you finding that a lot less people rely or trust the mainstream media, the people that you talk to, because they're seeing it? I'm sure they're glued to their TVs the entire time this is going down, but do you find that more people don't trust the media like they used to?
But I mean, media still has some power. They still influence people. We also talked to Aaron Burnett when we were down there, and sadly, they do kind of spread this society, this culture of fear. You know, they kept replaying the bombing footage, and they kept replaying gory pictures and images over and over again, installing fear in everybody. And they still are a powerful branch. But after just talking to people, it was great seeing random people who I never met before that I just walked up next to and asked if I could talk to, who didn't believe it and did have their own and had their own questions about everything that transpired and didn't just take it fully. So it was great seeing that. But at the same time, that fear that the media and the panic that the media caused was still very prevalent in Boston.
Well, I'll tell you what's kind of scary. You know, less than a week after the Boston police state crackdown, there was an incident in Oakland, California, where the California Highway Patrol, FBI, SWAT teams, they barricaded several city blocks, and they went in and they arrested people presumably for drugs and illegal weapons. I mean, they refused to even answer, or you know, there's news crews that were out there asking them what's going on. They refused to answer any questions. But once again, you know, it was a massive show of force. And I think what they're trying to do is, I think they're trying to get people used to seeing militarized police on the streets of America. We're seeing it more and more, and I think this is, you know, basically conditioning. What do you think?
Well, we saw that right after 9/11. First, all these apparatuses are built up to fight terrorism, and then we find the FBI manuals, then we find the declassified documents where they start classifying patriots and people who don't believe the mainstream media as potential terrorist suspects. So they're building up the apparatuses. They're using the Boston bombings as an excuse to build up this police state, and then they're going to start using it against drug dealers. Then they're going to start using it against immigrants or any other criminal group, and they're going to normalize this huge potential use of force against the citizenry. And then sooner or later, potentially, it will go against people who don't believe them, people who don't believe the government and don't trust the media. So slowly we see these apparatuses building, and we have to question the motives on how far they could go. We have to stand up to them. We have to make sure that our liberties are not trampled, because if they are, in one particular case, they're going to do it again and again and again and expand it even further. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that's why it's time to put a stop to it. It's time to stand up. It's time to question everything. And it's time to make a stand for humanity. I mean, it's now or never. Time is very limited. Life is very short. And it's really in our hands. It's in our grasp. And it depends where we want to take it. We could either allow all these things to happen, or we can make a stand, and we're here willing to make a stand.
Well, I'm into that, and it certainly is good to have you on our side. And, you know, for those of you out there who are new to InfoWars, perhaps you've never gone to We Are Change, it's wearechange.org is the website. They have a tremendous presence on YouTube. Their YouTube channel, man, I literally can spend hours on that channel. And Luke, I don't know if you know, as I don't get a chance to talk to you as much as I'd like to, but there isn't a weekend that goes by that I don't at least go there for a little bit and see what you've been up to lately. So, you know, there's a lot going on there, and I encourage everybody to go check out the YouTube channel. What's next for We Are Change? I imagine you're going to Bilderberg?
Yeah, right now, I mean, we love doing this. We put everything on the line. We cut every corner we can to save money. We have no owners. We have no bosses. We have nobody telling us what to do except the people listening right now. And right now we're trying to raise money on wearechange.org to fundraise our efforts so we could actually go to Bilderberg in the UK and provide live video streaming, make video reports, investigate what happens. And we could only do that with your support. So we're trying to get over to Bilderberg. We're trying to get the full story of exactly what's going to be happening there. We need a continued presence there. We need to expose what's happening there. And if people want to see more video reports, if they want to see the live video coverage, support us, and we'll do our best, and we'll put our butts on the line to make sure Bilderberg is exposed for what it should be.
Well, that's right. And We Are Change, truly citizen journalism at its best. Luke, thank you. I have a feeling that we will be seeing you at Bilderberg. My feeling is that God's definitely going to send you there. thanks for joining us today, and definitely come back and see us sometime in the near future.
Thank you so much for having me, and keep up the great work.
All right, thank you, Luke. All right, don't forget, folks, you can go to wearechange.org, donate to the organization, help Luke get to Bilderberg. I promise you, once he gets there, he's going to bring back some fantastic interviews and footage from the Bilderberg meeting out there in England this year. Is that right? That's right. All right, that's going to do it for tonight's show. The InfoWars Nightly News will return, Lord willing, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Before we go, this just in, check it out. It's the brand new InfoWars magazine, and I have not gotten a chance to look at this yet. This is brand new. I mean, literally this minute. Check this out. This, my friends, I think that's the best cover we've had so far. This should be a poster. I mean, that is awesome. And then I understand there they are. They got bumper stickers right there inside and a back cover as well. Pretty freaking cool. All right, you can get this on our website, InfoWarsShop.com. Be sure to get a copy today. That, once and for all, is going to do it for the show. We'll return tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.